The Force will be with you. Well, you know. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of Star Wars fans out there. Even you're not so much a Star Wars fan, you're probably going to go in this movie not expecting much. I liked all the Star Wars films, yeah, even the prequels. Please don't hate me. And even Rogue One, as flawed as that movie I don't think it was too bad. I mean, I liked it better than The Force Awakens, because The Force Awakens to me felt like a Star Wars movies for the fan service. Just put in just because fans want to see what these things in a Star Wars film. And where does The Last Jedi come in and all that? Well, it does that, but it has a lot of interesting surprises you just don't see coming. Now when we last left The Force Awakens, Rey finds Luke Skywalker and hands him off the lightsaber to him. And then the movie ends. And this is the first time that's ever happened. Most of the time in a Star Wars film, after the first film, it takes place a few months or a few years. But this is the first time it takes place directly after the last film. I think they did that very well. It almost feels like the films were filmed, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were filmed simultaneously. Kind of like the Lord of the Rings films. Anyway, Rey finds Luke Skywalker and asks him, will you join the fight? Luke refuses because after events, what happened with Kylo Ren, his own nephew, feeling like a failure, Luke doesn't want to join. But then he sees something special in Rey and decides to train her. Meanwhile, Poe Dameron is fighting the Empire with Leia, and Finn is on his own mission. Okay, I don't want to get too much into that. I don't want to give too much of this movie away. That part away. And then there's Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, who is fighting his own demons. And that's all I'm going to tell you about their characters. Well, did the Last Jedi, did it not disappoint? No, it did not. Man, I like I said, I don't know what I was going to expect. I mean, I knew Mark Hamill was going to be in it. Me, I loved him when I was a kid. I loved him as the iconic character of Luke Skywalker. As a kid, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker, and it was a treat to see him again as that character. And I gotta say, Rian Johnson shows his love for Star Wars in this film, and he does his best not to make it cliched, like you would expect a Star Wars film to be. I mean, it's like one of those things that just when you think it's going to go in one direction, it completely surprises you. You just don't see any of it. Moments you just don't see coming. It just completely surprises you. And there is another iconic character who makes an appearance. I won't say who that is from the old Star Wars films. Trust me, you'll know him when you see him. But you'll be surprised when you do see him. Now, how do the actors hold up? Well, I like Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. He's not the young, brash, dashing Jedi he was in the other films. No, he's in the age bracket of Obi-Wan. He is disgusted with himself, and I think Mark Hamill portrayed those emotions perfectly, feeling like a failure and so forth. I loved his scenes with Daisy Ridley as Rey. I mean, those two just click. You get the feeling they just come across like father and daughter. They just played off each other perfectly. And not that the other actors didn't disappoint. I think John Boyega as Finn was good. He shines a little bit more than he did in the last film. Adam Driver was good as Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo. We see him as a real torn and conflicted. He just plays those emotions very well. I mean, dude, he was just so good. And that Daisy Ridgely was good too as Rey. She learns a little bit more about herself, and I think Daisy Ridgely played her part very well. And let's not forget the late great Carrie Fisher as Leia. Oh man, I think she was good. She shines a little bit more here than she did in The Force Awakens. I mean, she has a there's a little bit of spoiler. I'm not gonna say when it comes. She does have a Force moment. I'm not gonna say what that is, but it's a big wow moment. Like wow, it's pretty awesome. So Carrie Fisher was good. It's hard to imagine anybody who could play the part as good as Carrie Fisher did. She made that character of Leia iconic. Just like Mark Hamill did for Luke Skywalker, she did for Leia. And let's not forget Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron, hotshot rebellious pilot. He also gets to shine very well. I mean, he wants to do what's right, but then you see that he is such an incredible hothead. Sometimes you like him, other times you get really annoyed by him. I mean, it wasn't too apparent in the Force Awakens, but it's more apparent here when he acts like that. But then again, you get the feeling that's people in these similar situations. That's how they would react in most ways. And other characters like R2D2 and C3PO, they don't have real big parts to play. I think BB-8 takes more of the center stage this time than the original droids, which I think is pretty good because they gotta let the other droids shine too. There is a callback to the first Star Wars, and you'll be surprised when you see it. That just shows you Rian Johnson loves pay homage to the original Star Wars as well, and he does that by making it its own. It kind of feels part sci-fi adventure, part war film, because he makes the settings look very realistic. I mean, he doesn't like it's a real-life war film. It's the setting when battle scenes come up. The battle scenes were epic. Whoa, it's so were the lightsaber fight scenes. I mean, the lightsaber fight scenes, it shows you Rian Johnson's homage to those samurai films, and you'll see it apparent in the lightsaber fight scenes. Does this movie have a fault? Yeah, there is one moment with Finn and this other girl. I forgot her character's name, but they're cute together. But they have one moment in the film where it just kind of takes the film out. It just takes the pacing away. It's like it starts slowing down, makes the film longer than it needs to be. But that's my only issue with the film. I actually think this film was better than The Force Awakens. Like I said, it never tries to be cliched or predictable like you would expect a Star Wars film to be. I mean, just when you think it's going to go in one direction, it just completely turns it around. All the actors were good. Nobody really stands out. I love all these multiple storylines. Well, except for one where it takes the pacing away, takes you out of the movie for a bit. But other than that, this is a good film. I think Star Wars fans will enjoy it. I think this movie could obviously make you any Star Wars that are not Star Wars fans a Star Wars fan. I think it's really good, and I think you should go out and see it. So I give Star Wars The Last Jedi 10 out of 10. Bye-bye.